Good morning and good afternoon, boss ladies. Happy Friday to everyone. Hope everyone's had a great week so far. It's Friday, you know it's my favorite day. So, welcome to Creating Opportunities, where we discuss ways we can use Rocket loan programs to help you grow your business. I'm your host, Bill Haga, Executive Loan Officer with Rocket Mortgage Local. Always stress local because my local pricing is always a good 1% to 1.25% better than our call center in Detroit, Michigan. So on a $500,000 purchase, that's every bit of a $5,000 plus savings just by coming to me versus going to them. All right, so that's huge. Anytime that we can save our clients money, we obviously want to take that route. Correct? Awesome. All right, let's get started. So today's agenda, the Feds and Wednesday's rate cut. That was pretty exciting stuff. First time that we've had a rate cut in over a year. First time this year, anyways. So pretty exciting for all that. We'll get a little deeper in that as we move along here. Another thing on our agenda, somebody was asking about jumbo loan programs. One, they didn't really understand what the difference was between just a regular loan and a jumbo loan. So we're gonna go through some of those scenarios and discuss what jumbo programs are and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's loan limits. Okay, so I want to dive right into what took place on Wednesday when the Feds decided to cut rates by a quarter, right? So 25 basis points, um, which was awesome. I mean, it was something. Any relief is great for our industry, right? I don't know if you saw the numbers, but the week prior to the Feds talking, rates actually dropped um, on the anticipation of what the Feds were going to do, and that's to cut the rates, right? So the market's a weird thing. I mean, someone can say something, and just based off of what they said, the market can already start shifting that direction. All right. So it can cause some confusion. I had some clients that were confused. They didn't understand what was taking place. So I'm going to dive into that a little bit, and we're going to unpack it some. Okay. So even though the Feds had cut the rate by a quarter, keep in mind as we're building up to Wednesday's announcement, the market is already kind of adjusting based off of what it thinks is going to happen. Okay. The market is expecting a larger cut. They were looking for more of a 50 basis point cut versus the 25 basis point cut the Feds gave us. So, what happened because of that? So, anytime the market overcorrects, right, it over adjusted, and as if we are going to get the 50 basis points, but we only got 25 basis points. So, once the market over adjusted, once the dust kind of settles, we saw later on Wednesday and Thursday morning that the market, as well as a list of our competitors, started increasing their interest rates, right, to mirror the market. It's normally what everybody does. Powell did mention that we're probably looking at another 1 to 2 25 basis point cuts by the end of the year. And that really didn't do too much with the market because, once again, the market had already over adjusted by a good quarter. Okay. So as we watched everyone else's rates start to go up and adjusting, um, our management decided that we weren't going to do that. We just weren't. We're going to keep our rates low and below the market. And that's what we did. So after the announcement, we kept our rates down. We kept them down all day yesterday. And I say down, I mean, they were down by a good, half a point to a point, just depending on what program it was. Okay. And that's huge. I mean, mind you, no one else was doing this. All right. But keep in mind, we changed our mission to help everyone home. So these are the little things that you're going to see from us throughout these next months and years moving forward. This is what we're obviously trying to accomplish. So you're going to see a lot of things change within Rocket in order for us to line up with that mission. Okay. So because of this, um, yesterday I was able to lock a couple refis in and some purchases in at much lower rates than what they were expecting. I know in one scenario, um, it was a $580,000 purchase, and we saved them like 75 basis points. So we saved them $4,350 because we kept our rates lower than everybody else did yesterday. Um, I had a refinance that actually locked in at, on a 20-year at 5.5%. So rates are moving down, right? As long as the feds keep talking that rates are going to be coming down, then the market's already going to start adjusting once again. I was just tickled to death that we were able to bless those yesterday and on Wednesday and got their rates locked. We saved them a lot of money yesterday. So I was super excited about that, as were our clients. And I thought that was a really bold move by our management and thought that was pretty awesome as well. So we, like I said, we didn't adjust our rates. Um, we've adjusted our rates up half, so we're still half, um, a good 50 basis points below where everybody else is at, based off of what moves took place, Wednesday and Thursday. So we're still super competitive with our pricing and our interest rates, to the point we're even giving a special. So loan amounts that are over 400,000 are now going to get additional 100 basis points off. I mean, that's huge. I mean, on a $400,000 purchase, that's $4,000. Okay. I mean, anyone that can save me $4,000 on my loan, I'm going to hug them, right? I'm going to have some emotions about this. I'm going to have some personal feelings. Wow, what an amazing thing that just happened, right? So that's going to encourage me to talk and spread, that information to all my friends and my family. So that's what's kind of taking place now. Um, and you, I received a lot of phone calls yesterday based off of what was going on because people didn't understand why the rates were going up when the rates were actually cut. So once again, it's all about the market. Okay, the market and what's being said is what's driving it. Okay, so if you have any other questions regarding the market, if you have any questions on how the rates work, please feel free to pick up the phone and call me. Let's have that conversation. So then, when your customers, your clients have questions, you're able to answer those for them. Okay, I'm here to help in any way I can. All right, that's what I do. All right, so right? 100 basis points off of anything over $400,000 loan amounts. That's huge. Huge. Think about that going into the weekend. If you've got anybody that's looking who's already pre approved for their purchase, mind you, we pull a soft credit report. So it isn't even going to affect their credit score. It won't affect their current deal that they have, but it does give them another opportunity, right, to find something better and save more money. Okay. So hopefully moving forward we see some more cuts. Interest rates keep coming down, the more activity we're going to get, right? So the week before, when interest rates were dropping, right, because the market was adjusting expecting that 50 basis point cut, applications jumped like 30%. Okay, new purchase loan applications jumped 30%. That's huge, right? Some of you boss ladies felt that, right? Now all of a sudden you started getting busier. Now you're receiving more phone calls. It's because of the rates. Okay. Once these rates come down, I know Trump's talking that he wants to cut them, 1.5% to 3% to save our nation tons of money on the backside on the loans that we have out there, right? So if Powell retires, we move somebody else in there um, who feels the same. We should be seeing some pretty big breaks here in the future. All right, which just makes me even more excited. All right, let's talk about jumbo loans and let's talk about Fannie and Freddie's loan limits. Okay, because it all starts with loan limits first. Got to know where you're at for a conventional and where it really jumbo kicks in, right? So, in the contiguous states, District of Columbia, DC, and Puerto Rico, these are the Fannie Mae loan limits, not purchase price limits, but loan limits. Okay. On a one unit, that's $806,500. On a two unit, that's $1,032,650. On a three unit, that's $1,248,150. On a four unit, that's $1,551,250. All right. Those loan amounts represent those states and those areas. All right. If you happen to be in Alaska, Guam, Hawaii, or the U.S. Virgin Islands, then these loan amounts are going to be higher, right? Because the cost of living is higher there. All right. So a one unit in these areas start out at $1,209,750. A two unit, $1,548. I'm sorry, $548,975. Three unit, $1,872,225. And then for a four unit, $2,326,875. All right. So a dollar over any of these loan limits can put you into a jumbo loan scenario. Now, mind you, if you're only a couple $100 over that loan limit, you just have to bring a couple $100 extra to cash or extra for closing cost, right? Because that's your max loan amount. So you can't go over your loan amount. So anything over that becomes money that you have to additionally bring in for closing cost. Okay. Now, some people don't have the additional funds to be able to do that. At that point in time, then they're teetering from, regular loan limits to a jumbo loan. Jumbo loans is just another program with different options. Okay. Um, our jumbo, we do have fixed rates. Before, when I first started back in the, 23 years ago or so, all jumbo, there was no really fixed rates for jumbo programs. They eventually came out with a 30-year fixed, but everything else were adjustable rates, five fixed, so their arms are still fixed for a period, but then they adjust. So there's a 5-year arm, a 7-year arm, and a 10-year arm that we used to put those on all the time. And then after 5 years or 7 years or 10 years, they need to really refinance again um, in order to prevent that rate from adjusting upward, right? They're adjustable rates. So if the market goes up, of course, those rates are going to go up. So that was always, the big kind of drawback that they didn't have any fixed rates for those programs. Well, now we do. Now we've got a 30-year fixed, a 15-year fixed, and we offer a 7-year arm on these programs. Okay. Pretty sweet. So let's talk about we've got some jumbo options. We've got a jumbo smart. That goes up to $3 million for your primary residence, 2.5 million on a second home, and then I believe 2 million on an investment home. Okay. So second home, right? You're going to spend a couple weeks there. You can rent it out, but you can't use that as income. An investment property obviously you can use the income for your financials. All right. So that's the Jumbo Smart. We also have a super jumbo that will go up to $5 million. Okay, this is big too. A lot of these jumbo programs, you'll see kind of max out around 2.5 million to 3 million, right? With our super jumbo, we can now go up over that to a $5 million loan amount. That's huge. All right. There's a lot of wealthy people out there and a lot of wealthy people that are, buying property that's much more expensive than $5 million. Okay. Um, and of course, that's for primary, second homes and investments as well. We also have a non agency program, which allows us to offer 40-year terms, right? We can stretch out the term, um, in effect, lowering that monthly payment. We also offer interest only options for the first 10 years that you can add to it, which is huge. There's a lot of savvy um, business owners, savvy people that are in that group, right? So at that point in time, maybe you're paying interest only, and then whatever you're saving from the interest only and the principal and interest payment, you're taking that and you're buying gold with it, or you're buying, XRP stock, or whatever the case may be, right? So I say savvy is because you're not just putting that money in the bank, you're actually doing something else with that money, hopefully making money off of that money, right? That's what you all want to do. Okay. So that is a little bit about jumbo loans. Now, there's a lot of non agency condos out there, right, that don't fit guidelines. And these are perfect for these scenarios. All right. Especially the non agency stuff. With the non agency stuff, we can go all the way down to a loan amount of $125,000 and offer an interest only option on that, which is huge. I don't know too many people that can do that. Okay. Normally these are set guidelines and you're not able to, offer any kind of interest only. It's all principal and interest, right? No one wants any chance of these to default. When you have a number of jumbo loans default, it could really impact your overall business, and no one wants that. All right. Um, let's talk about the state and local down payment assistance stuff right quick. I know I didn't put that on the agenda, but I just thought of it and I wanted to talk about it. Once again, Rocket has changed our mission to help everyone home. So once again, as you see us get more in line with our mission statement, you're going to see us start to do a lot more things that we've never done before, right? So in 40 years, we've never even entertained the thought that I know um, of going into the state programs, these down payment assistance programs that are offered by the states and the local counties, in which case now we are. All right, there's some really good ones out there. Some of them offer, you know, a great opportunity for someone to use and get into a home. Some of them aren't so aren't so good. I mean, they still get you in the home, but they trap you for 10 years or whatever the case may be. Okay. So we want to be leery about some of these programs. We're definitely not going to sign up for every single one of them. But if these programs make sense to us and make sense to our clients, we definitely want to look at them and see them. So if you have some of these programs in your state, please share that information with me. You can send me an email, you can send me a text, you can just give me a call. We can talk through it. Because what I want to do, I want to collect that information. There's a list of information that I need from the down payment assistance program in order for our products team to research them and verify if it's something that we do want to add to our portfolio or not. Okay. Remember, the more arrows that we have, the more programs that we have, opens up the door to creating more opportunities, right? Like our builder programs. We are now linking our boss ladies to builders. We know on the builder circle, I mean, we're building 80 homes, right, in that subdivision. So just think for a second, you're the listing agent for all those 80 homes. I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, that's amazing. One day I look forward to being the loan officer on those 80 homes, right? Hopefully it's 150 homes or whatever the case may be at that time. But that's what's moving forward. Okay. So if you have these programs, please get that information to me as soon as you can. Like I said, we've got a team that's dedicated to this. They're doing all the research and getting us hooked up with those. Okay. So moving forward, we're going to be able to offer those programs as well in your local communities. And then when you add that with all the programs that we have now, our 1.0 temporary free buy down, I mean, I don't know anyone else that's offering a rate that's 1% lower than the market, but we are, and it's for free. Okay. Huge. Um, so our One Plus program, right? If you're a first time home buyer or repeat buyer, but your income's, in that 80% medium range or below, and that's just 1% down. It's not geographically located, it's everywhere. All right. 1% down, we cover the 2% for a total of 3% down payment. And then we can get seller credit of 3% to cover the majority of the closing cost. All right. So every program that we have is designed to get somebody into a home. Okay. That's the main point of what we do. Um, let's see what else I wanted to talk about today. Um, that really is all I have for today. I just wanted to go through the jumbo programs, what makes the loan program or the purchase of jumbo versus just a regular conventional loan. Had some questions about regarding that. um, just know these loans close just as quick as everything else does, right? We moved all of our underwriting to the front so we can get people truly underwritten. So then the only thing that we have left to accomplish on the purchase is to get the appraisal and a clear title. Hopefully the appraisal comes back in good shape. We don't have any repairs or anything like that. If everything's clean, I mean, those loans are closing in 15, 20 days all day long. It makes it a lot easier when you've already got the buyer approved. Okay. In most cases, we're able to do that. In some cases, I mean, some of these files are pretty tough to get documentation and everything on because, once again, we need all the documentation up front in order to submit, just like they're under contract, right? So we need all their documentation up front in order to submit once we have a contract. Sometimes that's challenging for some of these clients. So one of the things I'm going to start doing is reaching out. And even when I send a list of documents that I'm needing, I'm going to start CCing um, you boss ladies on those emails so you can help, you know, facilitate, motivate maybe some of these clients who are struggling or having problems or, you know, putting it off. I'm not sure what the case is, but in some cases I know that they just they don't have the information, right? So then they think, oh, well, I don't have it, I don't have to provide it. Unfortunately, that's not the case, right? W-2s, we need them. If you are a union worker and you've worked for multiple companies, guess what? You're going to get multiple W-2s, not just one from the union. So we need them all. We need all the employment information for a 24-month history. Okay. So as we go through these checklists, the sooner we get those documents in, then the sooner we can submit it for, that verified approval letter that everybody's wanting for or waiting on. So that verified approval letter, once again, we've verified them. The underwriter has verified them. They are ready to go. There's nothing that's, hidden. They've already been underwritten. So let's get out there and help these clients get their documents submitted, and we can get them verified and ready to go sooner than later. All right, that's all I've got. I'm out of time for today. I will have my phone on all weekend. I will have my laptop on all weekend in case you need any pre-approvals. I know I've got some offers that are being written this weekend. Pretty excited for those clients. Um, like I said, I'll be available if you need me. Call me. I'm here for you. Good luck, and let's get them under contract. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.